Stop caring what other people think about you. Most people spend their entire life seeking the approval of others, rather friends, rather family members, spouses, and they'll never get the approval of most of these people. Most of these people will never ever fully approve of them. And you see this every single day with people. And they get disappointed and they get hurt. And they say, I tried and I tried and I tried. And it's like, be you. Be the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. After you do that, now it's on them. I see this and it's amazing to me because I remember being younger and I wanted the approval of my family members, my parents. I'm talking about the people I really care about. Like, I'm not talking about like outside, I'm talking about those people. And what I started to notice is the more I did for their approval, the more they asked of me. And what I started to learn is the people that didn't seek their approval, they didn't keep expecting more and more and more of. And in my life, what I started to say to myself is, why am I finna keep trying to impress this individual? What you see is what you get. And if I'm not your cup of tea, that's cool. No problem. I have my own visions. I have my own thoughts. I have my own viewpoints of the world. And at times, my own parents don't agree with my thinking. But guess what? I don't need their approval. And I love my parents. And my parents are very involved in my life, but I don't need their approval. When I got to that point in my life changed. When I got to the point where, whether you like me or not, I don't care. Whether you're going to support me or not, I don't care. See, so many people have a problem accepting criticism. If someone criticizes them, they're upset, they're furious, they want to quit doing whatever it is they're doing. Because you're so focused on the negative that they're saying about you. Once you start playing sports, in order for you to become great, you have to have this trait. This is one trait you have to have. If not, you will struggle in big games. You will struggle anytime you face any form of adversity. There's a thing in sports, they say, on to the next play. Because you can't dwell on what happened before. And when you're in a basketball game or a football stadium, those fans want you to dwell on that mistake. They want you to know you can't catch. They want you to know, air ball, you missed that shot. You missed the game winner. They want you to feel that. And you got to be able to tell yourself on to the next play. Just because I made a mistake, that mistake doesn't define me. Because I missed the game-winning shot, that doesn't define me. Because I had a failed business, that doesn't define me. Because I had a failed marriage, that doesn't define me. Because I lost a job and got fired from a job, that doesn't define me. It doesn't. Because we all make mistakes, no matter who you are. We all make them. But you got to get yourself to a point to understand that. That, hey, I make mistakes just like everyone else does. And this is the funniest thing. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. When you look at the most successful men or women in this world, and you look at the people that's not as successful, there's one trait that the very successful have that the not so successful has. The people that's very successful has failed way more than you. That's it. You see the success. You don't see all the times they failed. And if you really look at their life, you will see failure after failure after failure after failure. And they learned from the failure. They understood, hey, I'm going to make mistakes. First become a barber, I remember, man, I struggled with that. If I got someone complained about they didn't like the way I cut their hair, it bothered me. And I had to get to the point to learn from it. See what happened, make the necessary adjustments, and grow. We spend too much time on the mistakes. But it's the reason why we focus on our mistakes, because we care too much what others think, instead of focusing on what we need to do for our own lives. And that's true. Because you chase approval, one thing you'll learn, you'll never receive it. If you play for a football team, right? And we can even use Patrick Mahomes. To me, greatest quarterback ever, in my opinion. Let them not make the playoffs 1 year and listen to the fans. He's already given them 3 Super Bowls. Let him have a bad season. And watch how so many different things change. Patrick Mahomes cannot live for the fans' approval. He got to live for himself. I'm working with that with my niece right now. My niece plays basketball. Getting her to the point to understand that, hey, you can't focus on when you mess up. You got to focus on the next play. Learning from the mistake. The next play. Learning from the mistake. The next play. Because the mistake's going to keep coming. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about the mistake. That's when you have someone great. They're very quick at bouncing back from making mistakes. Greats are good at that. They're quick to bounce back. And you got to be able to do that. You got to get to the point to look past the criticism. Because anytime you're trying to do something, there's going to be some form of criticism. And the greater you become, the more criticism you're going to get. The better you get at something, the more criticism you'll get. You can be the best at something, right? And then there can be one person that becomes better than you. They'll criticize you for that. But you're number 2. You went from number 1 to number 2. You're still great. But you'll be criticized. Well, not as good as that person. You'll never, ever get their approval. But see, me personally, I understand why so many people care. Because you want to be accepted. You want them to accept you. You want them to like you. You want them to love you. You got people in relationships to get treated so bad. But you want them to like you, so you do more. You want them to love you, so you do more, and you do more, and you do more. And what you find out is, it doesn't really matter. They don't care. No matter how much you do. You work a job. I can speak from personal experience. I worked a job for 15 years. 15 years. And those people was quick to demote me over something small. Something small. When I say small, I mean literally small. So small that I got hired just like that at another job. And it bothered me for a second. Quick second. Because in my mind, I was like, man, I worked this job 15 years. I gave them blood, sweat, tears. Never really missed days of work. Rarely missed days of work. When I say rarely, I mean rarely. And you telling me you fired me like that? And what I had to learn is I had to stop caring. What you care for, they don't care about you. And this the thing about it. I have no bitterness toward the job. That wasn't a job for me to care about them. That wasn't a job for them to care about me. It was my job to give my money up while I was there and to move on with my life. But you got to get to a point where you stop caring about what they think. You got to get to a point where you stop caring about how they feel about you. Because they're going to always have some kind of opinion about you. No matter what. I can do this speech right here. Someone to say, oh man, he talked too positive. Criticism. No matter what, you can call yourself doing everything right. There still will be someone to say something negative about you. So what will you do about that? How did it make you feel to go through your entire life and to never go towards your goal or your dream? Because you're so scared to fail because you're so worried about what the people that'll never try or say about you when you fail. Because the winners, the people that's successful, they'll never sit there and say, oh man, you didn't make that happen. Oh man, your business failed. This is what I know. What the great's gonna tell you is, I know you failed, right? But let me give you some advice. This is what I think you could have done differently. They're gonna tell you, keep going, don't stop. Those people, they're gonna appreciate what you're trying to do. They understand failure is a part of becoming successful. That's the biggest thing most people don't understand. Failure is a part of becoming successful. You can never become successful without failure. It doesn't come. Failure will always come before success. Learn to say no. Most people will never, ever, ever be able to tell loved ones no. Tell friends no. Tell the job no. Because you care so much about their approval that you'll live your life in misery for them. They want you to go above and beyond. But you don't have the time to go above and beyond. You don't have the energy to go above and beyond. But you still try. Gotta get to the point of telling people no. Gotta get to the point of living your life for yourself and stop living your life for others. And when you get to that point in your life, when what the outside world thinks, it doesn't matter. Better yet, let me change that. When what your friends think of you don't matter. When what your family members think of you don't matter. When what your spouse thinks about you don't matter. And you can get to the point of going towards your goals and your dreams no matter what. That's when you became a winner. Until then, you're going to always struggle. The entire purpose of this message is to get so many people to understand how important it is. How important it is to stop caring about what anyone else had to say about you. Now, if you care, if you can see something in the message that they're saying to you, and you decide on your own to become a better version. But if you don't see it, move on with your life. Stop worrying about them. Worry about you. Because when you stop caring, you're going to soar. My name is Sidney Combs, and I'm a young entrepreneur from Shreveport, Louisiana with $1 and a dream. I appreciate everyone for giving me an opportunity. Please comment on the video, whether you agree or disagree. Thank you. I'm out.